Hello, everyone. Welcome to McLanecast, the podcast brought to you guys straight from the students of the Art Venture Production Academy. I'm your host, Aliyah. This is episode 8, and today I'm with, MERA again, CTE students. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves and say what pathways you're a part of?
I'm actually Wendy Thao. I'm part of the MERA pathway, or the medical SE program.
So I'm Fernando Rico, and I'm part of the business pathway, and I'm also part of the Union Bank.
I'm Mendez, and I'm part of Teachers Academy.
It's so nice to have you guys on. And I'm Aliyah. I'm part of the Art Venture Production Academy. So to start, do you guys want to go over a little bit about what your pathways entail? Like what?
What my pathway entails is just like to get prepared for the medical, like the medical pathway basically. It tells us about what majors we should go in. It tells us about the careers there are, how many, there's a bunch of careers out there from laboratories to medicine to all the way to literally engineering. It also prepares us about ethics, and also it helps us get certified for OSHA, HIPAA, CPR, and many other things.
It sounds so complicated.
Thank you. It really helped, though. It really helped. It really helped.
So in the business pathway, it's helping us get ready for the future. If you do want to become a business manager or whatever, I'm part of the Union Bank. So what I'm currently learning is a bunch about accounting and money, finance, everything. So it's really helpful because it did help me find out why I joined it in the first place. Because honestly, I just joined it because I had to do something to do. And the pathway, I really like it. Because of it, I also want to become an accountant in the future. So, yeah.
What about you, Kelly?
Okay, so the education pathway, is basically what it is. It's the education, but we also learn about philosophies and teaching methods. We also learn how to work with kids in an ethical way, from a appropriate standpoint, and how to maintain relationships between individuals.
I think all of our pathways are very, very different because it's listening to you guys and knowing what my pathway entails. It's all media stuff, doing things like this. It's kind of crazy how they're so different and the options that people have here at school. So what made you guys want to join your pathways?
Well, ever since birth, of course. Of course, my family is very hardcore on the get into a doctor's degrees, So when I found out about how McLane, does a medical program here, because how back in middle school they'll go out and tell you or the CTE thing, where they take you guys to this whole big old area where a bunch of schools are talking about their CTE pathways, right? So since I already know McLane's I'm going to McLane, of course I'm going to join the medical program, of course, because I want to become a doctor. So that's the reason why I joined the medical pathway, and also to gain a bit more experience about the medical, yeah.
So you've been in the medical pathway since freshman year?
Yeah, I have.
That's crazy. What about you guys? What made you guys want to join?
Sophomore year, they put me in personal finance with Miss Dillon. So I didn't even know I was in a pathway until I came back for junior year. And that's when I found out everything.
What about you, Kelly?
So I joined because I want to work with kids, obviously. But yeah, that's really it. I wanted to work with kids. And, I enjoy it. So, yeah.
The reason why I joined, I'm such a huge part of the Art Venture Production Academy now. I don't feel as bad admitting to this, but art video production last year, the reason why I even joined this pathway, that wasn't even one of my options on my classes. It was just I was put in here because I registered late. Actually, no, that was sophomore year. So I just got put in here. Wasn't an option.
Okay.
Never wanted to be in video production, but
Do you like it now, though?
I love it now.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
One of my first messages with my counselors on Teams is literally me trying to get out of this class. And it's now it's not only the most enjoyable part of me being here at McLane, it's also given me experience that I wouldn't have been able to get anywhere else, because I didn't go here my freshman year.
Oh, okay.
And sophomore year I was in choir, and so not in a pathway at all, but being here, it's definitely the universe put me here for a reason, you know, and I'm so happy that I got put here, even though I never wanted to. Anyways, next question is, what's your guys' favorite class from your pathway so far?
Ooh, I'm gonna go first because I feel like I have to. Okay, so for education pathway, we only have 2 classes.
Okay.
So obviously, it's design teaching, because like that's the only class I actually took. Because sophomore year, I wasn't in cross age because it was COVID.
Yeah.
So we only have 1 class.
What does that class look like? What do you guys
That
do in
class,
there?
basically, all we do is we do assignments from a book, a teaching book, and it's mostly just about like philosophies and how to relate to the kids and how to work with the kids better. And then second semester we do dual. So that's just an education class, basically, same thing, just at city.
That's crazy that you guys like learn about philosophy, because with the, like a teaching academy, philosophy I feel like is more, I guess, an English thing, maybe a history thing.
I felt like it could have been psychology instead.
Yeah.
Well, there's like a lot of psychology within education, because you got to know how to teach the kids in the right way that they'll learn, because there's a lot of different ways to teach, and kids learn a lot of different ways.
I've never really thought about like methods of teaching, because this is probably irrelevant, but I work at like a school supply store, so I talk to teachers like all the time, and you know, even talking to them, it's just like, okay, they're buying their decorations for their class, you know, that's about it.
Yeah.
But you know,
Well, even decorations, there's stuff on that met like it's psychological too.
Yeah.
If the decorations are happy, the kids will be happy.
I've talked to a couple teachers where they'll say that they've gone like some of the more trendy decorations, I guess, this year are actually like muted colors, like the boho browns and muted pinks.
Like fake wood. I've seen a lot of that recently.
And they say it's because like bright colors, like how it was trendy, I guess, years ago. Like bright colors makes them a little bit too,
hyper.
hyper, and like the sensory from that just makes
it's overstimulating.
That's the word I was looking for. But what about you guys? What was the question? What's your guys' favorite class?
Oh, okay. My favorite classes were probably like my junior year and right now my senior year. My junior, it was like medical health careers. Basically in there, Miss Yang just told us a lot about like ethics, and also we took a lot of notes. That's all I remember. We took a lot of notes about ethics.
And it was still one of your favorite classes?
Yeah, that's still one of my favorite classes, because I knew for 2 years. I had it for like 2 years. And then, she taught us about medical ethics. She got us certified for like OSHA 10, ServSafe. And then it was like during dual enrollment for medical terminology, that's when a lot of like stressful things came in. But I passed, so it's fine. Passed with an A, thank God.
Let's go, Wendy.
And it was really fun. Medical terminology was really fun. It was really hard to learn, but
Terminology, like vocabulary?
Yes, like vocabulary. It's like,
scary.
do you know what let me see if I do you know what itis means basically? Do you know the like the
Does
suffix?
anyone
of
know what itis means?
No.
It means inflammation.
Isn't it like,
inflammation.
I was going to guess that.
So
I
it's
was
gonna
going
be
to say like an illness.
It's like, okay, so do you know what meninges mean?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
know.
Yeah, you know meninges because
I know.
she took psychology, and then you basically just add it together. You get meningitis, which means inflammation of the meninges. If that's
Okay,
how
well,
you say it, I don't remember. And then right now, for Miss Pennington's class, shout out to Miss Pennington. She actually today we just talked about how to take care of a patient in like a wheelchair,
Aww.
and then we also learned about like PPE. And then we're going to go work at the VA soon, and then of course right now sports med is still going on for the 6th and 7th class. Like right now, there some kids, like 10 of them, are like doing sports med right now. Like, so yeah, I really like those 2 classes, and I can't wait for the VA.
I think our MERA pathway is like really impressive.
Yeah, it is.
Like with all the extensive experience you guys get like outside of the classroom.
Yeah, I know.
I also think it's impressive because there's all this stuff you have to know. Just like everything you just said.
Yeah,
I
it's like
understood none of it.
complicated.
I could never do business. Like, I'm so sorry.
Really?
No, I don't understand interest. I don't understand like
Really?
feel like
savings,
business-
checkings. I only know how to spend that cash.
Econ's like one of my easiest class right now. Well, I'm taking AP macro, so like with Johansson.
smart.
Well,
I
an
dropped
AP
it.
macro is so easy to me because it's like I feel like more common sense type things where it's like, okay, if the prices of things go up, then the demand's gonna go down. And it's like you know, I don't know. It makes sense to me in clicks. But I'm also in AP Calculus, and that class is kind of easy. So I feel like I'm more of a
Could not be me.
more of
Good
a
luck
math
here.
person than artsy.
I should have been like ahead of my game and took AP Calculus with you guys so that I don't need to take it in college because
It's scary.
Oh my god.
I don't even know if I'm gonna pass the
You'll be
AP test. Like, it's scary.
At least you know what? You don't even have to take the AP test. You just need to get that class done. Going back to the question.
Okay. What's your favorite class from the business pathway?
So, I don't know if it would be considered a class, but my favorite class is working for like the bank right now. But I don't know if that's a class, so I'm just gonna say Miss Dillon's class for personal finance. Because Miss Dillon is such a cool teacher.
Isn't the class where you found out that you were in the business?
No, okay, so I actually can't remember like what the class was called for sophomore year, but I took this class last year. The one in sophomore year, I can't remember what it's called, but I like the one from last
Some
year.
business class.
I know. But that's mostly my fault because I did nothing. I was studying for 7th period, so
I just never talk about sophomore year.
yeah, it's forgotten at this point. So I like personal finance because I did learn a bunch of stuff in there. I learned what interest was, gross pay, net pay. That's also where I like found out like most of my friends again. I had one friend in middle school that we kind of separated, and because of that class, we got reunited.
That's so sweet.
But most of my friends are in my classes because we all have like literally the same mindsets.
Yeah, none of my friends are in my class.
I don't have friends.
Stop lying.
Okay, we'll get into that after the podcast.
Come on now.
Okay, I feel like I should answer too because I'm the Art Venture representation. So, and I need to represent for Art Venture. I'm not sure because I've taken digital media and design, video production, and cinematography at this point. But cinematography this year I feel like is so stressful. I'm not sure if I can even like compare it to video production because Clifton, I love his classes. I've also taken yearbook. I don't know if that's part of the pathway. 2 years now. I just do everything here. I love Clifton and his classes. So last year when I was like barely getting into video production and like just having fun making videos and stuff, that was probably more fun than right now being like stressed 24/7. But at the same time, like, I don't know, I love cinematography too, and I really like the people in there, so just every class is really good, I guess. So next question for you guys is, how has being in this pathway changed your life academically or like in general?
Ooh, can I go first?
Okay.
So with the business pathway, I like it a lot because like it's pretty much teaching me everything like after high school, so like taxes and everything. So I find it very helpful to already know that stuff now.
That's it.
I mean, that's it. Like
Okay.
everyone always complains about like how after high school they don't know anything about
Yeah,
taxes.
about like
so
actual real life
I think
things.
now actually knowing about all that stuff, I find it like it's awesome.
So like in the future, it'll be very beneficial. I had a question to go with that, but I forgot. Wendy, do you want to go?
Oh yeah, of course. For me, academically, it has really like enhanced my vocabulary with like medical terms, of course, and also it has really helped me like keep my grades up basically because you know how hard the classes are, and if I really want to pass, I have to pass with an A, and also
So,
it
like,
just
putting in more effort?
Yeah, exactly. It just helped me put in a bit more effort, and then in general, it has really helped me with like understanding like where I want to go with life basically. Especially with the medical health careers, it has really helped.
I'll ask about the future more later because I want to talk about that.
Yeah, of
but what about you, Callie?
For this pathway, it's really helped me further my connections within Fresno Unified in general so that I'm more secure in being able to find a job in the future. Academically, this is probably bad to say, but this class is like really easy. So it's just helped me like de-stress and be calm throughout the day, knowing that I kind of
That's a good
have
thing,
like a free period type thing. Cause like
Yeah, because I feel like everyone, we all have really hard classes. So like being able to enjoy a class that's, giving you connections and like good experience, I feel like that's even better.
Must be nice.
Oh,
We
Are your
have to-
classes stressful?
Yeah, classes are very stressful.
like
but-
all of them.
mine's easy.
especially medical, because we have a due date and we need to get it done by then.
Yeah,
And
I get that.
we have a lot of stuff due this week, actually.
So for me, my pathways like changed my life in probably more ways than I could probably get into right now, because I started off as like just taking the video production class and making cute little videos with the people in there. And it's like somehow I climbed the ladder from there all the way to meeting the governor of
Oh
California.
yeah, I remember.
you know?
Yeah, I remember that she was the
So-
one that met the governor. I was
he
like,
nice?
He was so nice. I don't know if I could. I don't know, because I feel like when I talk about
how did you
him-
guys even get there? That's what I want to know.
okay, the ladder was a lot. Like, I've done so much to get there. Like, I was doing video production, I was helping with the broadcast, then I was helping with the news, then I was doing this podcast, then I was, like, you know, doing leadership stuff, then I was vice president, like, ASB vice president, and then I was, like, at leadership camps. It's just, I've done a lot just from, you know.
Who suggested about seeing Governor Newsom though?
He chose to come here. I'm not sure. Like, someone on his team chose to come here.
And then they were like, you know what? Let's
And
nominate Aliyah to
Mr.
talk to him.
Wolf
Oh.
actually chose me.
Ooh.
Hey.
They said,
Chosen one?
yeah, they said they needed someone, like a student. They wanted a student voice to talk.
Okay.
And Mr. Wolf was like, they said, do you have anyone in mind? Mr. Wolf was like, oh yeah, I know exactly who I want, Aliyah. And so
She's
he,
out there, girl. She's like out there. She's
Yeah.
out there.
And I guess I'm pretty good at talking, so, you know, it was nerve-wracking because he gave me, like, a one-day notice.
Oh.
It was
Oh,
like,
my Lord.
okay, it was, like, during lunch. He was like, hey, Leah, so, like, I have a proposition for you, whatever. And so he was like, do you want to meet the governor? I was like, I was going to say a bad word. But he was like, yeah, of course. And he was like, okay, well, prepare a speech because tomorrow you're going to, you know,
Oh my God.
you're going to speak during his press conference. And when
I
I
have to
went,
know. Did you sleep that night?
no.
Okay.
I was so scared. Like, everyone around me knew.
did
'cause
you tell your mom? Was she was like, oh my God, you're meeting the governor?
I wasn't allowed to tell people.
Oh, yeah, that's
It was
right.
confidential. So, like, my parents knew. But, like, I was stressed.
Man, I would have been over with my family. I'm sorry. Like, I'd be like, I'm meeting the governor.
I would have posted on.
You would have posted on Facebook.
Facebook.
Yeah,
Facebook.
Facebook. Yeah. I
Yeah.
guess we can't say Facebook on here, you know?
I know.
Free
Like,
advertisement right there.
Facebook.
anyways, I was scared. Almost threw up multiple times. Couldn't eat. Couldn't sleep. But, like, I had a speech prepared. And then last second, like, the day of, I was like, okay, this is, like, a big, big deal. You
Yeah, of
know, like,
course.
a lot of important people are going to be here. Like, the governor's going to be here. I can't just, like, say some generic facts like, okay, yeah, like, people have mental health problems. Who cares about that?
literally,
Like,
yeah.
everyone knows that. Everyone knows that. So I told myself, like, okay, I don't want to get into it. Like, my actual story, you can find it on YouTube somewhere. But
We'll look for it. We'll look for it.
it was... I have, like, firsthand experience with, like, mental health challenges,
Oh, yeah,
and
of
I knew
course.
if I talked about that, it hit deeper and resonate with people, like hearing someone who's had this firsthand experience than just, like, saying, well, yeah, everyone's had, even though it was hard to say.
Exactly.
It was hard to say that, especially because, like, if you think this setup's bad with the cameras, there was, like, news people from, like, Sacramento,
that's right,
like,
yeah.
all over California there with news cameras all here and interviewers, like, coming up to me before and after, and, like, FUSD people and, like, government people. It was scary. But I did it, and that's probably, like, you know, it's life-changing because
Yeah,
now,
exactly.
like, if there's a possibility of getting a letter of recommendation from the governor of California for college, you know, so
You can go anywhere now, girl.
yeah, and so I'm thinking too much about this. Basically, this pathway has in fact changed my life a lot.
This pathway has only taught me about like jobs.
Don't say only. Your pathway is just as important.
Yeah, it is important, but it's just like the only things I've gone
I
out
didn't
of
get to
is,
meet the
like,
governor.
like I didn't get to meet with medical professionals. I'm kidding, I did.
Okay. we could probably talk more about that another time. Next question that I have for you guys is, how has your pathway prepared you for the future?
Oh, okay.
Ooh, okay.
I feel like this is a good question.
I'll start. Well, of course, with jobs, it has really helped me like understand where I want to go. Like, of course, after college, you have to go to medical school, but you have to pass this exam. Everybody knows about it. It's the MCAT exam. And then after that, you have to do residency, and then bam, you actually get into a job. That's like 15 more years of school. So that really helped me understand like it's a lot of determination and loyalty to this job, you know, this like medical pathway just to get there, you know. And it has also prepared me to like, I don't know, how do I say this, sort of understand where I'm going to and who I am and what I want to do, basically, like as a medical professional. Because like, what if I was like an introvert person and I didn't want to talk to people, but then I want to be like a nurse? Like, you can't do that. What you could do is like be in a lab and just focus on your own thing. Because if you're a nurse who's introverted or introvert, you're not going to get anything out of it. Basically, that's what it taught me.
You're not introverted.
So if you want like a better example of introvert, you just look at me. Honestly, like I haven't been talking at all. I feel bad for it.
No, you're like, you have talked, okay? Thank you so much, because I've noticed you've like is that the right word? Interjected into like conversations,
Yeah,
like
that's the
ask
word.
people, like you just did right now. No one was talking to you, and you, but you know, you're not that introverted, okay? You're talking really well.
So I've had like this conversation like with myself, like just in the mirror. So
Okay.
it's always like I'm either introvert or like I'm more in the middle. So I feel like I'm scared to talk in like a big crowd of people. Like right
Okay,
now,
I
with,
get
like,
that.
just you four, well, including me. Like that's much better for me. Also, like with the bank and everything, like they've encouraged me to like get out of my comfort zone.
That's exactly what I got here. I don't want to talk about myself again, but I'm gonna talk about myself.
You're part of the CTE. You're
I
supposed
know.
to talk about yourself.
I was just gonna say, like, I never, ever, ever wanted to, like, most of the steps, I guess, where I was talking about me climbing up this ladder, like, the very beginning ones, never, I fought all the way through those things because, like, Clifton, for, like, the news, it was like, okay, can you please do this because they're not here this week and we need someone to film? And I was like, no. No, like I don't like being on camera. I don't like talking. I'm a really, really shy person. There's no way I'm gonna, talk to people.
Unless you met the governor.
But he like pushed me. He saw
Potential.
something in
Yeah,
me, like potential, and so kept pushing me to do it. And then it was like the next week, Aliyah, can you do it again? No, I already did it last week for you. I'm not doing it again. Please, like you did really, really, really good last week. You got to do it again. So did it again. And then he asked me to do the podcast, and I was like, okay, but I'm not good at talking to people. Like, I can't do this. And he would have me do presentations. Like, I remember last year, he would give me, like, one-day notices to do entire presentations, like, for move-up day. That was scary. Like, it was talking to a room full of not even freshmen, it was, like, middle schoolers. And
They're brutal.
yeah. And, like, it was so embarrassing when they wouldn't listen to me. But then there was, like, a couple times where I had to present during like CTE meetings. Like, I don't know exactly what they were, but it was like CTE people, and that's how okay, moving on.
Wait, she hasn't like responded.
Exactly, that's what I was gonna ask her. How's the pathway changed in your life?
It's good. It gave me a lot of work experience. You know, we go to job site. We do a lot of internships.
The question's actually, how's your pathway prepared you for the future?
Oh.
I'm so sorry. This is
Same
a mess.
thing. But also, yeah, it gave me a lot of connections, work experience, and it's proved to me that this is what I want to do.
Yeah, for sure. What about you, Fernando?
I already answered.
Did you?
Yeah.
My bad.
I was gonna ask, Callie. So since you work with like, I'm guessing middle schoolers, like elementary schoolers?
Elementary, yeah.
Okay.
Mostly.
Oh, never mind. I was gonna ask like, if you have worked with like middle schoolers, like how are they?
Ooh,
Aren't they the same as
I
us, like
would
back in middle
never-
school?
Oh, I would
don't
not
remember
want
how
to
it
work
was.
with
Do you
myself.
think elementary kids have changed ever since we've
Yes,
gone?
they are like the new middle schoolers. Like they have a lot of attitude.
Oh my god.
They're very
And
grown for their
honestly,
age.
I would
And that's
probably want to
bad.
work with high schoolers more than elementary because
Really?
like They're kind of. It
I feel
depends
like
on what grade, though.
Elementary schools also like have no boundaries yet.
Yeah.
I get that. I was just talking to
People are like coming out of like elementary with like Instagram accounts, and I'm just like,
Yes.
chill the heck
Like
out.
my brother has a phone. I didn't get a phone till like 8th grade.
literally.
I would see you guys make me nervous because my like backup plan.
Oh. It's fun.
Is
It's
teaching,
enjoyable. It's
and-
enjoyable. If you like teach what you want to teach, it's really fun.
I've always said like I wanted to do elementary, but you guys make me nervous.
No. You just have to understand your kids. Of course, it has to do something with psychological, especially because every
The
kid.
Teacher Academy.
Yeah, every kid is unique. What can you do about it? All you can do is just like learn about them and teach them that way.
Do you know what grade you want to teach?
Elementary is the
you?
first plan, but my backup plan is high school. I want to teach history.
What about being a professor? Would you ever become a
Ooh.
professor?
Actually, being a professor would be actually kind of easy. You only
Yeah, because it is mature. They are mature kids.
No, like in college, you would only need to get a master's.
Oh.
So it's pretty. If I wanted to, I could be a professor.
Then do it.
Wait, so what's the difference between like working for like a college and like just like a normal school?
What do you call it? The paycheck.
Oh,
No, and just like your level of education.
Yeah, because literally when you're a professor, I'm pretty sure you have a more broad.
Yeah, you have like a more broad subject or a really specific subject you teach. It's just really how you go about it and just like your level of education.
And you know for sure you want to be a teacher?
Yes. I feel like
What
a
about, like,
lot of people like, are you sure?
But what about like a counselor or like a principal?
I feel like, I don't know, because I really did want to be a counselor, like a social worker for a while, but I don't think I could deal with a lot of the emotional
No, I
aspects.
get that.
Yeah.
I applaud everyone who like plans on being a social worker because
Yeah.
we need
It's
better social workers.
Very emotionally taxing, and I don't think I could do it.
I feel like if I was that, I would just like break down with them.
Yeah. I know that happens a lot.
Just kidnap the kids. Oh my god.
For me, like a trigger for me is like if someone's crying, it makes
I'm gonna
me
cry.
Of
I'm
course.
gonna cry. Like
I'm gonna cry with you, and then after we're done crying, we're gonna cry again. We're gonna get everything out,
I'm such an emotional
Like,
person.
shout out to them, but shout out to social workers.
I feel bad for kind of moving away from that topic now, but
Wait, Fernando, what did you want to be?
yeah, I was
when
gonna
you
ask you guys what
So-
you wanted.
I have already said I do want to be an accountant because
Okay,
like I've
okay.
heard it's such an easy job.
Wait, don't they help
Like,
with taxes?
Isn't that what like numbers?
Oh,
though?
okay.
So it like pays a lot and it's so easy because it's mostly like a stay-at-home job.
ooh.
Making me rethink.
What does an accountant do though? Like,
So-
isn't it just like calculating numbers?
So you help like people with like their taxes and everything. So it's pretty much calculating numbers, but with like someone else.
Go Fernando. What about you, Wendy?
I wanted to be an oncologist, gynecologist.
Oh what?
That's a big word.
Oncologist, gynecologist. Basically, I help women understand their. I don't know. I help women understand their bodies. I help them understand their reproduction system, or if anything's going on around there, I'll go in and take a look, basically, and then I'll probably perform surgeries too, especially if especially if it involves like with cancer or just anything that's going on.
Do you have to like take separate classes if you want to be a surgeon, or can you just like?
Well, yeah, of course. No, I mean not really. I know for sure. Maybe you're gonna learn during residency. That's when they teach you. Yeah, that's when they teach you about like what you have to do, because that's actual hands-on with doctors. That's why.
I don't know if I should answer. Like my.
Go for it.
Yeah,
Answer.
go for it.
I don't know.
Oh.
I have no
Did you
idea what
wanna,
I
like,
want
work
my
in
future career.
Did you want to work in like as an anchor or anything, or no?
I wanted to be a journalist. That was the plan for years. The plan has always been since like elementary school. We're gonna go to NYU and we're gonna be a journalist.
NYU. Girl, you're
Yeah.
going very far.
But this year, like, this Pathways changed my life. We've been over that, and so I don't know. I don't know where the universe wants to take me anymore. It's just I feel like NYU was always like just a dream. you know, and
can
now
become real.
it can become a reality, and now I'm scared.
Don't be scared. You're gonna get there.
Because I was always like, okay, like, yeah, you want to go to NYU, you want to have your own newspaper, you want to have your own news company one day, but realistically, Aliyah, you're just gonna have like a 9-to-5 job working
No,
in
don't
Fresno
think
still.
that. Don't think that.
But now,
Shoot
like,
for the stars, you know.
yeah, it's so.
Shoot for the start. You have
I think I want to.
literally everything for you. You can do this. If you
That's
go
what
to
I'm
if you go to
scared of.
NYU and you
I
end
don't
up
want to
in-
mess it up.
if you go to NYU and you end up in Fresno, I swear to goodness, I'm gonna make sure you go everywhere around the world. Literally, just interview the people that you think that are like are very like matter. Because I know there's gonna be new civil leaders. There's gonna be.
Oh my God, thank you so much
new-
for talking
Yeah,
about that
exactly.
because what I was kind of leaning towards after like this year, because I've taken up like a really strong liking for like politics.
Oh yeah, me too.
Ooh,
And, like,
you
the
would make, like,
leadership
a
from
great
that.
politician.
And that's what, so I don't know if I want to go the route of journalism or political
Do both.
science.
Do
And
both.
so Sacramento State actually has political science journalism. So I don't know. We'll see
You're
where
gonna be
what I
up
do.
there interviewing like congressmen,
No,
senators.
no, I am going to be the next president.
Exactly.
The first
And you
female
better.
president,
You
Wendy.
better.
We've already talked about that. Like, Gavin Newsom, he's going to be saying in years, like, I met Aliyah when she was just in
I
high
met the
school.
president. I met her. She was amazing.
In her startup,
Exactly.
No,
honestly.
he tells people, like, right now, I met Aliyah. Like, he met me. Let's be honest.
Exactly. You have a better chance, and you better take it.
Okay. So we have to wrap up in a little bit. So
wait, really?
yeah, it's already.
Kristen was right. It goes
Yeah,
by so
it goes
fast.
by really
Yes.
fast. So the last question I have for you guys is, why should other people join your pathway?
Other people should join our pathway because if you really want to go into the medical pathway, this is for you.
Yeah.
The teachers are great. Miss Flores, Miss Yang, and Miss Pennington are the best. They provide you so many sources. Miss Flores and also Miss Pennington have a history of being in the medical field. I know Miss Flores was like a nurse. She was a nurse, and then Miss Pennington was like she literally managed a whole nursing home.
Really?
Yes. So if you want to gain experience, you better join the MERA program. It's really worth
Is it MERA or MERA? I'm so sorry.
It's MERA. I'm guessing it's MERA. MERA. I don't. I like to say MERA.
Okay, go ahead.
But even
Sounds
though
more
there,
fancy.
yeah, even though there is some classes that you will like struggle with, it's totally worth it. You just need to worry about when you go to Miss Yang's class and she makes you take dual enrollment. That's the only time you need to worry because that's when it's actual college work.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll be ahead of everybody's game. You're gonna be very mature, and you'll find the best things and like, literally all your friends in this pathway.
I'm about to join right now, Wendy.
Do it, girl.
Okay, Fernando, why should people join business?
So I feel like for both medical and was it the teaching one?
Yes.
So I feel like for both of those, like if you join those, like you know exactly what you're doing after. I feel like with the business pathway, it's more like a bit of everything. So I like that more because then it helps you like. So with the medical pathway, you mostly learn about like finance stuff, which is what everyone needs. Like I feel like everyone here at one point has to learn all that stuff. So I think it's better to have it like at a earlier age, so that once you get out of high school, you're ready for all that. But I also think it's good because like if you do join that, you have like a better idea of like what you like. Cause that's what happened with me. So like when I was a kid, I always wanted to like. I always like bounced off from jobs. I went from like a chef to like some other stuff, and like now like I actually want to be like an accountant. Like that's what I'm actually looking forward to.
That's so sweet.
That's nice. That's really nice.
Okay. For me, wait, what was the question?
Why should other people join the pathway?
Okay. Well, like you said, it's very like specific. We're called Teachers Academy, but like you should join if you want to be a public servant in general. Like we do a lot of things geared towards public service, like counseling, psychologists, teacher, anything like that. I feel like it would be a great pathway to join because you're getting experience working with children and you're getting experience building connections within organizations. And you get a lot of like paid job experience.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say like
I
if you
remember
do
my
want to
answer.
join a pathway though, you have to put a lot of dedication in it.
Yeah,
A lot of
agree.
dedication.
No matter what pathway.
Exactly.
And it definitely helps like the pathway itself and like the advisors when people care so much about the pathway and like dedicate themselves to it. Like I see that with Art Venture, you know, like we have a lot of students, but when people like actually care about it, it means a lot to us because we have like really impressive equipment here.
Yeah.
Like just this setup here in the studio, you know, like if you're interested in media at all, even journalism, you know, like what I do, interviewing you guys, we do news packages all the time, the cinematography class. We're in charge of the school news. Like our students do the news packages where they go out, interview students. Really good experience in that. And you learn a lot about like media, like cinematography, video production, how you make movies and stuff, make videos. And yeah, I think just what we have here, the studios, we have a sound booth in the center, like all the cameras, equipment, all the computers, like, you know, it's just really impressive.
Yeah.
I think McLane has really impressive
Yeah,
pathways
they
just in
do.
general, though. Like, you have an entire bank. We
Come
have-
on, bro. We got like
Yeah, we have a
hospital
bank
beds.
here.
We have hospital beds in our classroom. That was crazy when Miss Pennington like, yeah, you have actual hospital beds. I was like, okay. And then you guys have like all the cameras and all the lights and like look at all these computers.
Yeah, it's...
Dang.
I don't know
Overwhelming
about the. I don't know
sometimes.
about the. I only know they have the bank.
I
And
think
then
that's,
for
like,
college,
really
for Teachers Academy, they
impressive.
actually go off campus and they go to West Dawn, and that's
Exactly.
really cool.
That's the only thing we got though. We only got desks. We don't even have our own babies
Whoa.
for CPR.
I mean, it's a teaching class, you know. But then guess what? You have real students that if anything ever happens,
You
you,
get
know what to
good
do. You know?
experience, like real experience. So yeah, our pathways are just amazing. I think we should end it now. Sure.
Join MERA.
Thank you for that, Wendy.
You'll live through it. You'll live to see it.
Okay, I just want to say thank you guys so much for joining us. My name's Aliyah, and see you guys in the next episode.